a sheet that says short-term medical. So like I said, we're going to dig right into that. One of the things that has happened since the ACA became the law of the land is a lot of agents and a lot of consumers have forgotten about this product. It's still a very viable product, particularly for those, for example, who have missed open enrollment and still need or want coverage to protect them while they wait until the next enrollment or open enrollment period in the fall. So when you're thinking of this product, don't think of it as being something that's an outdated product that's no longer relevant. Think of it as one that still has a very pertinent place in the marketplace. It's for those people who are in between coverage, just like in the old days, for those of you who sold in this space in the past. So we're going to go through a few things. We're going to talk about who the kinds of clients who are still in need of this product are. We'll talk about some ways to market the product, briefly cover some features and benefits, and then talk lastly about how to quote and issue the new product that we have that we're offering. For those of you who sold in the space previously, some of these bullet points should be very familiar to you. Those clients who are waiting, for example, as a result of being a new hire to join their group plan, many companies are still offering group plans, but are extending the waiting period to longer and longer from that first day on the job. So in the old days, maybe someone had to wait 30 days or sometimes 60. I've seen companies that have gone to waiting periods that are considerably longer, up to 6 months in some situations. So if you've got a client that's a new hire in a place where their coverage isn't going to be starting right away, a short-term medical plan can be a perfectly viable way for you to protect, for the client rather, to protect themselves while they're waiting. Don't forget about folks that are changing coverage, so people coming back from the military or who are looking for an alternative to the more expensive COBRA, recent college grads. I know with ACA came the ability for young people to stay on their parents' plans, but a lot of parents, for a variety of reasons, want the child off on their own plan, and so that's going to be a space to keep in mind as well. The last bullet point may be the one that is the most overlooked. So people who are recent U.S. immigrants usually have a period of time they have to wait before they can join a major medical plan, a domestic plan. This product will allow for that client to write something right away and protect them while they're waiting to join whatever domestic plan that they're going to eventually be purchasing. There are any number of ways to market this product. Most people have seen some of these, but just a kind of a high-level glance at things to consider if you're not doing this now, or if you're doing them, maybe making the visibility of the short-term medical product a little grander than it is now. So if you have a website of your own, we will provide you with a secure link. And I tell people often, many products that we have here at Seven Corners are kind of in a niche area of the insurance market. Your clients won't know that you have the product offering unless you tell them, so don't forget to include short-term medical if you aren't currently including that in a prominent place on your website. For those of you who have a situation where people are walking in a lot, maybe a traditional brick and mortar place, the short-term medical stands are a very useful way in high traffic areas. So think of your office or the office of a temporary agency or any place where there's high foot traffic. For those of you who are selling in the group space, the traditional kind of domestic group space, as you're talking with business owners or the HR professionals in those companies, talk to them about including some information about coverage for short-term medical and presenting it to their new hires when you know that there's a waiting period. It's a very captive audience, as it were. And likewise, when people are leaving those companies, the HR team generally gives people kind of a benefits package. Here's what happens when you leave the company. If they're including your information, that will give you an opportunity to pick up some sales when it's more of a passive activity than kind of an active activity. One of the benefits with this particular plan, it's a significant one, is that there's no application fee. Most of the competition now in this space is charging an application fee. There's a 10-day free look, and so your clients are going to have an opportunity to take a look at the policy and review it if that's something they feel the need to do, and do so without that application fee. Again, many of the carriers are seeing application fees now up to $25, and so it's not an insignificant thing to say that the application fee should be a prominent part of the discussion that you're having about this product with your clients. There are a couple different ways you can pay. You can pay either on a monthly basis, or if you choose a single pay option, you can do that and receive a slightly reduced rate because you paid all at once. This product does not require that you participate, or rather that you seek treatment only from PPO network providers. There is a network that they can take advantage of, in this case Coventry Healthcare. It's a website, they can look up a provider, but I'll emphasize again, the person doesn't need to use someone at network because there's no out-of-network penalty. So they can go to whatever provider they want, that they want. The advantage, obviously, is that if they choose to see someone that's in network, they'll get the benefit of those network discounts that would be applicable. One of the other nice things that's built into this plan is a $50 copay that would be applicable if a person sought treatment through an urgent care facility versus an emergency room. In that case, the copay would be in place of whatever deductible option that they happen to have chosen for treatment, in this case, if sought at an urgent care facility. So just another perk that's built in to the plan. One of the things that's something to be aware of and to mention to your clients is the ability to purchase single-day increments over 30. So if someone knows they need, in this example, 64 days worth of coverage because they're on their waiting period for a new job, for example, they would, with some carriers, with several carriers actually, have to buy 30-day increments, in this case, wasting several days, 26 for example, of premium that they won't actually need because they just want those 64 days. So keep that in mind as you're talking to your clients, and if you're using a carrier that doesn't give that ability, I hope you'll put us into consideration when you're writing the short-term medical product with your clients. And kind of lastly, the HCC offers unlimited rewrites in several states. In some states it's only 2 additional rewrites, in this case a total of 3 successive policies without having to take a break of a period of time, and that varies by state. So take a look at what state your clients happen to be in. One of the nice things is they're in 44 states, so they're in a lot more states than the previous product that we had available. So with that, I would say if you've got questions, I would be glad to do my best to answer them. If not, I'm waiting for people to type in whatever questions they might have. I'll point out that next week at this time, I'll be covering the Assure 7 gap insurance plan. So for those of you who are selling still in the domestic space, that's a product that's going to be a nice fit for clients who are struggling to try to figure out how they're going to meet those higher and higher deductible out-of-pocket exposure limits that come with the new ACA plans, and we've got a product that can be a good gap filler, so to speak, on that space. If you've got questions, feel free to reach out to your particular sales rep. You should see their name there on the screen and their extension. If you don't know who your rep is, just call the 800 number and we'll get you directed to the right space. I don't see any questions currently, so I just say thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. For those of you here on the East Coast and those on the West, thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. I wish you all a good afternoon, and thanks for joining.